Random thoughts. In this video, I'm going to talk about the sycamore tree and about its mention by Sir Richard Burton in the book First Steps in East Africa, Exploration of Harar. I think most people reading this book, and this is a book that was published in 1850s, might miss that detail because it's not like a huge part of the book that is talking about the sycamore tree. But it caught my attention because I've done videos about the sycamore tree and how it is taken to be so sacred by so many people around the world. In the ancient Egypt, it was taken to be a sacred tree. Among the Agikuyu, of course, it's called the Mugumo tree and is treated as a very sacred tree. And different other people, the Kalenjin, the Maasai, different people treat this tree to be very sacred. Now, here is the thing. The book, First Steps in East Africa, is about Sir Richard Burton traveling among the Somali people, going to Harar. Now, the Somali, of course, were Muslims at that time, and even today they are Muslims, of course. So their religious belief system, you will not expect that you will read a book about the Somali people and then you will have somewhere where the sycamore tree is mentioned. So I was reading this book and I reached a place where Sir Richard Burton is traveling from Zeila, is going to Harar. He's very close to Harar actually at this point, and he's in the land of the people that are called the Kudabirsi. He's in the land of the people called Kudabirsi, and this is the last you can say territory of a people that he needs to cross, and then he goes into Harar. And he's traveling and he's explaining to us many things that he sees on the land, the landscape, the view, and he tells us about the ruins of cities that he comes across. And I found that to be very interesting, that in this land there were ruins of cities that he thought were there a long time ago. Some of them had ruins that looked like architecture of the Turks, things like that. Very interesting. And then now he comes across this tree, the sycamore tree, which was a very huge tree, seems like. And he asks around and he's told something about the tree. And he's told something about this tree by the Guda Birsi people, which is a clan of the Somali people. And I'm going to read that part and we hear what it's about, because I as I've said, I think many people reading this book would miss that detail because it's not important. But it caught my attention because I've done, I think, 1 or 2 videos about the sycamore tree and how it is thought to be a very sacred tree in very many communities in Africa and outside Africa. This is what it says. At 1 p.m., we unloaded under the sycamore tree, called after a Gala chieftain, Halimala, and giving its name to the surrounding valley. So they arrive at this tree, huge sycamore tree, and he is told that it is called Halimala, and this is the name of the Gala chieftain, and the Gala are the Oromo people, of course, and it is the same name that is the entire valley is called. And he continues to say, this ancient of the forest is more than half decayed. Several huge limbs lie stretched upon the ground, whence, for reference, no one removes them upon the trunk or other trunks, for its bifurcates are marks deeply cut by former race, and time has followed in the larger stem on the arbor, capable of containing half dozen men. So he talks of, it seemed like this tree had been there for a very long time. And he says this tree, of course, this land, in fact, he explains another part of this book, that this land was occupied by the Oromo people, who the Gudabirsi people pushed out of the land, and then they occupy the land. And so this tree and how it is revered was part of the remnants of the occupation of the Oromo people on the land. And that's what he is explaining here. And he says that even though the Oromo were no longer on the land, even the Somali who lived on the land, it seems like they did not want, or they did not intend, or were not keen on disturbing the tree the way it was, and nobody was even cutting anything out of it. They just left it the way it was. He continues to say, this holy tree was, according to the Somal, a place of prayer for the infidel, and its ancient honors are not departed. So he was told that this tree was a place of worship of the infidels, who I guess were some Oromo, we can call tribes or clans, who occupy this part of the land but had not converted to Islam. Or could be other people. We can't be sure that it's actually the Oromo, because this is a land that has been home to different groups of people, of course. And so when he says the infidels, we are not sure that it's actually the Oromo, but we conclude it's the Oromo because he mentions that the name of the tree is actually a name of the chieftainship of the Oromo people. But he says the owners of the tree has not departed, even though the Oromo no longer occupy the land, and the people occupying the land are the Gudabirsi, who are Muslims. But they still treat the tree with some level of, some level of honor or something of sort. Here, probably to commemorate the westward progress of the tribe, the Gudabirsi Ugas or chief has a white canvas turban bound about his brows, and hence right forth to witness the equestrian games in the Arawa Valley, as everyone who passes by visits the Halimala tree. Foraging parties of the northern Isa and the Jibril Abokar clan of the Habr Awal frequently meet, and travelers went his way in fear of trembling. So seems like the Gudabirsi people, they did not disturb the tree for other reasons, not for spiritual or religious reasons, but maybe for historical remembrance of the achievement of pushing the other people out of the land. Seems like that's what he's saying. I might be maybe misreading whatever arguments he's making in this part, but you can read for yourself the snippet of that part on the screen. I found the mentioning of the sycamore tree and Sir Richard Burton taking a moment to tell us that it was actually a tree that was taken to be a place of worship for some people. That again leaves or adds to the mystery of why did so many people around the world treat the sycamore tree like this. It's still a question I'm asking myself. What is it about the sycamore tree that makes it so special among different groups of people? Those are my random thoughts.